Hey there, folks. Welcome back to Pixel Streets and Poly, the podcast where science meets the streets of virtual worlds. I'm your host, Carlo Jovish. Usually I'm busy trying not to get scammed in Liberty City, but today we are going back in time, 1986 to be exact. Neon lights, cocaine empires, and an open world masterpiece called Grand Theft Auto Vice City. But I'm not alone. Today's guest knows those streets better than anyone. He took on the Diaz cartel, built an empire, and wore more Hawaiian shirts than anyone should be legally allowed. Ladies and gentlemen, Carmine Conti.
Glad to be here, Carlo. Though I gotta say, this whole podcast thing feels a lot like wearing a wire.
Relax, Carmine, no feds here, just fans. Today we're unpacking how Vice City was made. Not just the game world, but what went on behind the scenes, how it evolved from GTA 3, what inspired the neon noir aesthetic, and how Carmine here became a digital icon.
Long story short, a bunch of Brits watched Scarface on loop and made magic. But yeah, let's dig into it.
Tommy, let's start simple. Vice City came out just 1 year after GTA 3, but it felt like a leap. Bigger world, voice acting, motorcycles, how'd they do it?
Yeah, it was a fast turnaround. But here's the thing, Vice City wasn't a sequel, it was a sidestep. Same engine, but they crammed in style, detail, and attitude. A real love letter to the 80s.
For the folks listening, here are some key questions that could unravel the real story behind the making of Vice City.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City was primarily developed by Rockstar North, formerly DMA Design in the United Kingdom, with contributions from Wardrum Studios and published by Rockstar Games in 2002. The game uses a tweaked version of the renderware engine from GTA 3, heavily modified to create its expansive open world. Set in a fictional 1980s Miami Vice City, the game drew inspiration from Miami's culture and geography and 1980s American culture, shaping its vibrant aesthetic. Development began in early 2002 and lasted approximately 9 months, with a core team of 50 people at Rockstar North. Key design philosophies included creating a distinct artistic style influenced by Art Nouveau and Liberty architecture, along with a free-roaming gameplay approach. Music licensing played a pivotal role, with an extensive 80s soundtrack and radio stations co-written by Reed Tucker's team released as 7 albums. Dialogue for protagonist Tommy Vercetti, voiced by Ray Liotta, was refined through actor input to ensure distinct character voices.
Technical limitations arose from early 2000s hardware, requiring optimization to balance performance and stability. The game's radio content was crafted as immersive radio dramas, reinforcing its retro atmosphere.
That engine wasn't fancy, but they squeezed every pixel out of it. And voice acting? That changed everything.
Let's talk aesthetic. Vice City is soaked in 80s culture. Neon, pastel, sunsets that look like they were painted with cocaine.
Haha, you're not wrong. The whole city was like a postcard gone wrong in the best way.
And the music. You're cruising on Ocean Drive, Billie Jean on the radio. It was immersive. But that licensing must have been a nightmare.
Worth every penny, I bet. That soundtrack is the game.
To dig deeper, here's another round of questions.
The team at Rockstar North meticulously selected popular and iconic 1980s songs to create an authentic atmosphere for GTA Vice City, resulting in a cohesive soundtrack that became integral to the game's identity. However, they faced legal challenges, including expired music licenses leading to song removals and a lawsuit from Psychic Readers Network over character similarities. The art team drew visual inspiration from 1980s Miami culture, referencing films like Scarface and Miami Vice, while the game's map replicated real-world Miami landmarks and neighborhoods from the era. Technically, the game featured a dynamic weather system and real-time day-night cycles, enhancing immersion. Environmental modeling was done using the renderware engine, while voice acting and animation syncing relied on professional recordings and coded triggers. Rockstar balanced satire and authenticity by exaggerating 1980s excesses while grounding the experience in genuine cultural references, creating a nostalgic yet humorous depiction of the decade.
They didn't just build a city, they built a time capsule. Alright, Carmine, so we've covered the vibes. But now let's talk about what players could do. Vice City took the chaos from GTA 3 and hit the nose.
Right? Bikes, boats, choppers, chainsaws, you name it. Liberty was a playground. Vice? A full amusement park with no rules.
And those properties, small. Owning a strip club that prints you cash while you storm a gang compound, that was next level.
People say empire building started with San Andreas. Nah, we had that blueprint first.
Here's what you'll want to dig into if you're a fan of the mechanics that made Vice City legendary.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City introduced several key gameplay features not present in GTA 3, including easy controls and a fully customized layout, as well as open-world gameplay that expanded player freedom, allowing them to perform criminal activities. The game also added some features and vehicles, notably motorcycles and helicopters, which added a nice variety to the vehicles and traversal. While helicopters were almost never used in missions due to control concerns, their introduction marked a welcome step forwards in terms of mobility and freedom. The mission design adapted to these new vehicles. As the mission changed, the vehicle changed along with changes. Side missions were developed as optional activities integrated throughout the open world, often unlocked through specific vehicles or property purchases. The mission structure and pacing emphasized greater player freedom, allowing earlier access to different islands and storylines. AI improvements made NPCs and police more dynamic, with enhanced behaviors and interactions. The weapon system evolved to include movement while shooting, refined targeting, and an expanded arsenal.
Yeah, some features were scrapped during development, such as a more complex police system and unfinished map elements. Technically, loading zones were managed via a streaming system for seamless gameplay, with brief loading screens only during island transitions.
You weren't just doing jobs for other people. You were taking over the map, one shady business at a time.
And that freedom, that was the real power fantasy. Not just driving, but deciding how to play. Ray Liotta brought Tommy to life.
Yeah, before that, protagonists were mutes with bad aim. Ray gave me attitude, depth, style.
And the cast, Burt Reynolds, Dennis Hopper, even Gary Busey. It was a star-studded cast for a video game, unheard of back then.
Now everyone's doing it. Back then, we were trailblazers. Rockstar Games decided to give protagonist Tommy Vercetti a full voice in Grand Theft Auto Vice City to create a more charismatic and fleshed out character, departing from GTA 3's silent protagonist. This narrative enhancement was achieved by casting Ray Liotta, the first speaking protagonist in the series, who brought distinctive edge and charisma, drawing inspiration from iconic 80s crime films. The voice recording process involved a star-studded cast, including Burt Reynolds, Avery Carrington, and Dennis Hopper, Steve Scott, who delivered thousands of lines for cutscenes, missions, and radio broadcasts. However, directing high-profile talent like Reynolds reportedly posed challenges for Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser. Writing a coherent narrative with a voice protagonist also proved difficult, as Tommy's established personality, reinforced by Liotta's performance, had to align with player freedom in an open world.
Vice City wasn't just fun. It stirred the pot. Politicians hated it. Parents freaked out. But gamers? They couldn't get enough.
It sold like crazy, and it still sells. We lit the fuse.
GTA became a household name partly because of Vice City's style and ambition.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City received generally positive to mixed reception upon launch, with some critics comparing it unfavorably to other PlayStation RPGs at the time. Despite initial criticism for being obtuse and visually unimpressive, word-of-mouth popularity led to a positive reception. The game sold 4.5 million units in its first year, and has since surpassed 17.5 million copies sold, becoming one of the best-selling PlayStation 2 titles. The game faced significant controversy due to its graphic content, particularly regarding violence and depiction of women, sparking media backlash similar to its predecessors. In response, Rockstar censored the game by blurring executions and removing a scoring system tied to brutal killings. They defended the title as an entertainment experience and issued a press release acknowledging concerns while contextualizing the violence. GTA Vice City is regarded as one of the most beloved and influential games of all time, drawing inspiration from 1980s pop culture and leaving a lasting impact on future GTA titles. Retrospectives praise it as a masterpiece for its immersive setting and soundtrack, solidifying its legacy in the open-world genre. While Rockstar released a remastered version as part of the trilogy, the definitive edition in 2021, no standalone remake or direct sequel has been announced.
Carmine, final thoughts. Why does Vice City still matter?
Because it did it first. It showed what games could be: art, music, story, chaos, all in one. And it did it wearing sunglasses at night.
Couldn't agree more. That's it for today's episode of Loading Screens and Legends. Next week, we're talking San Andreas jetpacks, gang wars, and gym stats. Until then, stay safe and stay out to 5 stars.
Or don't. Some of us thrive in the heat.